What's up, everyone? Aaron here, and today I'm going to be taking a look at NewAge's H3 Harry and H3EX Harry. This is their take on Prowl, and you're probably thinking, he's got two of them. Yeah, I do. I wasn't really planning on picking up this EX version on the left, but an online store was offering store credit for in-stock purchases, and I said, why not? Because I do absolutely love this Dotson mold from NewAge, but it's not without its critiques. So I was going to review one of them. Why not just show both of them so you all can see the differences between the two and decide if either one of them does work for your collection. So let's get on into it, but first we'll look at the boxes and the accessories as per usual. Let's go. Alright, so here's the box that comes with the original Harry, and it's a little different since it was one of their earliest releases, hence the update. But it's your standard NewAge fare. You know what you're getting with it. The EX box, a little more in line with what they're currently doing with all the prominent G1 grid lines and stuff for their boxes. So, but product shots, etc., etc. You know what to expect as far as that goes by now. Instructions as are par for the course with both of them. And as far as accessories, you're going to get the same thing with both of them, and that is their iconic rifle and their shoulder weapons. Now, as you can see, both of them hold them perfectly fine. And it is just casting gray plastic here. Come on, focus. Is this as good as it's going to want to focus? It's just casting gray plastic, but looks exactly like the one that Prowl used in the show, and as well as the one that came with the original G1 toy. So definitely cool to have as far as that goes. And as far as their shoulder weapons, it is just in black cast plastic here with a silver painted tip. Man, might be time for a new phone, guys. This does not want to seem to cooperate today. But there is some molded detail in there, and does not look like the ones that Prowl had in the cartoon, but it does look very similar, including even this notch at the top, to the ones that came with the original G1 toy. So that's cool. Now, as far as functionality with it, it's just going to port into this behind his head, and you can push it in as far as you like. I usually leave it out a little bit more, though. And you can angle it all the way up, all the way back if you wanted to. But yeah, they look good, and they serve the purpose. Now, this piece, I'll just go ahead and say it, it's a little bit of an eyesore behind his head, but it's necessary for not only to use this, but it's also necessary for the engineering with the transformation. So it's all right. I don't really have a problem with it, but I can see where some people might. So that's their accessories. Let's take a closer look at both of these guys. So let's look at the detail on both of these guys. We'll start with the original release here. And again, as is par for the course with NewAge, very well painted. If this is the one of these two guys that you're interested in, or it's the one that you could possibly find cheaper, I don't think you're going to be disappointed at all with this one. As is the case with NewAge, though, painted very well here. Got some black paint here, paint for the headlights, paint for the windows on the shins here, paint on his torso, paint here, gunmetal on the bumper here. Looks like they've tampoed the police shields here, black paint on the doors, on the headlights here. Just looks good in general as far as that goes. Obviously, paint on the windshields and windows there too, and paint on his sirens. But yeah, looking good as far as that goes. And paint on his head, that nice little head sculpt. Let's take a look at it. Very vibrant red paint on his crests or horns or whatever you want to call them here. Blue paint on the eyes. Looks very good. Gray paint on his face. Got nice molded detail on his head as well. And range of motion as far as that goes, since it's on a ball, you're going to get all kinds of up because of transformation here. A tiny amount of down, even less attitude, I think. You can get kind of fudge a little bit, but not a lot there as far as that goes. And you can do 360 with his head. So you pretty much get what you need as far as head sculpt. And since he is a little bit of a shorter bot, you're probably going to be looking up more than down anyway. So it works out okay as far as that goes. Arms on a ball joint, so you're going to get the usual range of motion 360. You can actually get all the way up and out due to how the arms do transform. Arms or the elbows are on a ball peg, as you can see, so you get the usual range of motion there. No wrist rotation, just moving down due to transformation. You will get waist rotation as well. You get some rotation, some movement with his door wings if you want. You can also angle them exactly how you like as far as that goes. If you wanted to leave the windows up, I suppose you can. But officially, you're supposed to leave them down for transformation. So, shows you the waist, T-ball joints on the legs. He can do full splits. He can kick all the way forward, all the way back. He gets a ton of knee bend just due to how the legs transform. You also have a thigh cut for a thigh rotation, or leg rotation. Either or, I guess. Now, the feet are a little weird, but I think they work pretty well. But you get a rocker with this joint right here, so you can move this way and whatnot. No toe tilt. You do have this heel spur, though, that you can use. You can angle it however you want to help you stand how you like as far as that goes. So yeah, that's the articulation pretty much summed up. I think it's a pretty good range of articulation personally myself. So, but yeah, this is a good looking Prowl. Like I said, if I had not picked this one up, I would be completely happy with just having this guy. But we'll look at what's going on with this guy here too. Now they have same red paint on his crest here and his eyes, but they've also actually given him silver face paint as opposed to gray. Headlights are painted again. This little tiny bit is gold as opposed to silver on that one. They've added a police tampo here on the bumper. Otherwise, it's the same gunmetal gray. They've added tampos for his shoulders here with more highway patrol logos, so that looks pretty cool. A little bit more paint on his crotch here. I'm not exactly sure what that stands for. It's not on him, so could be something related to the G1 toy. I don't know. I don't have that toy. So, again, is that a different color silver? Yeah, no, it's the same color silver, right? It was just the light. But silver on his little bit of his waist right there. Again, more tampos everywhere on him. So they look really good though. And the biggest difference between these two, we've got some translucent plastic on this one. And I think it works quite well. We will see that better in vehicle mode. But that's about all there is to say about the two of them. Like I said, they look good. This one's just a lot more, he has a lot more detail to him. So, again, it's an either or thing, really. I think if you found either for the same price, you'd probably go with this one. I would personally. But, again, this one is quite good. So, let's get some size comparisons, and we'll talk about scale, okay? Can we talk about scale? I've been dying to talk about the scale, guys. Let's get into it. Alright, so here they are with some third-party Legend Scale Decepticons. We got Magic Square, Megatron, we've got NewAge, Bombshell, and our boy, Iron Factory, Runabout. And I think the scale works pretty well with all of these, in my opinion. Scale is in the eye of the beholder, so it's really entirely up to you what you think works best for your collection. So let's get some Autobots in here. Alright, I took one of them out so we can really get some more bots in here for comparison. But the big question amongst a lot of Legend Scale collectors is Magic Square versus NewAge in regards to scale. And there are absolutely times where the scale does not work, I think. But in my opinion, and for my collection here, I think that this NewAge Dotson mold scales perfectly fine with Magic Square Optimus and Magic Square Huffer here. Now, you may be saying Huffer's a mini bot, but come on, guys. I mean, you'd be right, but he's a truck cab, okay? He may not be a full-on Peterbilt semi like Optimus, but he's still a truck cab. You would think that would be just as big as a Datsun or a Nissan Fairlady Z, whatever you want to call it. So I really have no problem with that scale, and as you can see, he's going to scale well within his brand. I think he scales well here with both of NewAge's Bumblebees here. And finally, here for a few other brands of Autobots. Here's Mechanic Studios Hound, or MechFans Toys, whatever you want to call them, Toy World's Whiskey Jack, and Hasbro's Cyberverse World. And I think this still works pretty good. I would not argue with you if you said Hound was too big. He is a little big comparatively, I think, but I still think it works pretty well overall, personally. So I'm fine with it in my collection. So again, scales in the eye of the beholder. It's up to you. But there's some ideas at least for you. All right, so let's get him transformed. Do the usual and start by removing accessories. And what I usually do is I start here and I go ahead and pull this back part up and sort of out of the way a little bit. What you're going to do next is his torso here, his upper torso tabs into his lower right here, as you can see. The tab right there. And it's black, so it's hard to see. But there's a tab there. Just fold that all the way up like so. Go ahead and rotate his waist while you can, because I always forget to do that with this mold, and I get halfway transformed, and then I have to untransform part of him. So remember to rotate the waist 180 there. Now we'll come to his arms. We'll go ahead and fold his hands in on that hinge, and you're going to rotate them in until this lines up the way it should on the car up here, like so, right? You're going to take him at the elbow here and rotate that inside, and there's a tab here and a tab there, right there, and you're just going to tab in like so, and just repeat that on the other side. Sorry for being fat fingered today, guys. There we go. Now, go ahead and, if you would like, go ahead and rotate the back panel down, and you're just going to tab these into there. Rotate the windows up on that hinge, and they will just kind of tab in there as well. As you can see, tab there, tab there. Come to his legs. You're just going to fold them down on this hinge inside of this lower leg, and you've got a tab. You might want to wait to tab the door. I usually don't have a problem doing that, but because this is supposed to go inside this little notch in the door right here, so it might help you to wait on the doors and save them for last. I don't ever look at the instructions, so I'm not really sure what order it tells you to do it in, but that would probably help, other than me just trying to ham-fist everything here. And if I could get his leg folded in there, I don't know why it won't fold in. What's going on here? Down. There we go. Sorry, guys. All right, and as you can see, you also have this tab right here to hold the legs together. And windows come down. All right, there we go. And then finally, you can fold his heels all the way up there to have everything flush. And there you go. Looking good. I'll get the other one transformed here, and we will do a comparison in vehicle. All right, so here are our Prowls in their police cruiser modes, and gotta say they're looking very good. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of this mold in both modes, and just this Datsun mode, it's fantastic in my opinion. In case you haven't seen it before, though, we'll just kind of look at the general look of it and everything. Both of them have silver rims, as you can see. Beautiful blue paint on the windows. Windshield wipers are painted. Cleans up pretty good on the bottom, other than very visible head syndrome. So they roll perfectly fine if you need them to go in some hot pursuit. But yeah, looking pretty good in my opinion. Now, the reason we're here, I guess, is to look at the difference at this point. And when you just look at the stock photos online, it's kind of hard to see the differences between the two. But in my opinion, this one, just all these extra tampos and everything, they're fantastic in that regard. They really went the distance as far as that goes in making it look that much more complete and everything. So, again, the differences here, you're going to see his sirens are in a clear red plastic. We've got clear blue tinted plastic here for the windows and the windshield. Now, you know, the trade-off is you're going to see parts inside of the car when it comes to that, but I personally don't think it's too egregious in this one. I don't really have a problem with all of these folded up hinges under there. I think it still looks okay. And I'm fine with the trade-off for having the clear windows. I think it looks cool. Again, we got Highway Patrol Police tampoed on here. We got some more tampos back here. You saw the police on the bumper. But yeah, it looks good. I mean, just lots of extra detail. And it's nice for people who maybe missed out on this one to have another version of it. So, again, I don't think you can go wrong with either one, whichever you can find if you're interested in them. So, I think they both look good, and they both look pretty cool together. Maybe I could assume that this one's Prowl and this one is Streetwise. He's the police car, the Protectabos, right? I don't know. I think that's his name. Since there is no Legends scale version of him yet, right? So, let's do some comparisons real quick. So, for comparisons, here we've got NewAge Jazz, Magic Square Blue Streak, Iron Factory Run Amok, and Hasbro Combined Wars Legends Scale Blackjack. And these are all sports cars, so generally speaking, a pretty similar size for all of them. So, there you go for that. So, my final thoughts on NewAge's H3 Harry, both versions. I probably said it half a dozen times by now in this review, but I am a huge fan of this mold from NewAge, and these are no exception. This might be my favorite NewAge mold. If it's not the NewAge Seeker mold, it's this one for sure. The articulation is great on it. The transformation is pretty easy and intuitive. You know, really the only nitpicks I can think of for this figure, and as far as that goes for Barricade and the others, are aesthetic ones. You know, you may not like how the shoulder weapons mount. You may not like this little piece right here between the head and the shoulders. It can, you know, I can see where someone wouldn't like how that looks aesthetically. And obviously, the elephant in the room, the scale aesthetic. But that one could be entirely irrelevant to you, as it kind of is to me in this case, anyway. So, final thought is pick them up if you are interested. They're definitely a recommendation from me. That's going to do it for the review. Hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. As always, till next time, have a good one.